What's up, Galaxy? It's time for Bantha Soup, the show where everything Star Wars related is up for discussion. I am your host, Gil Garcia. Today in the Bantha Tank, we're taking a look at the Jabba the Hutt Dungeon Action Playset from Kenner's 1983 Return of the Jedi toy line. Available only at Sears during the Christmas season of 1983 and 1984, the Jabba the Hutt Dungeon Action Playset was a reworked version of Kenner's Droid Factory of 1979. However, the plastic base from the Jabba the Hutt Dungeon set differs from its earlier counterpart in both color and minor detailing. Its crane element also included 2 hooks, whereas the Droid Factories only boasted 1. The 2 different versions of the toy were issued in 83 and 84, respectively. The figures came bagged inside the boxes. It should also be noted that the 2 versions made for the Dungeon playset differed from each other considerably. The first featured a dark gray base and included the Return of the Jedi figures 8D8, Klaatu and Skiffguard disguise, and Nikto. The second issue featured a tan base and included the new Power of the Force figures Barada, EV-99, and Amanamandan, a man, right? There's an interesting bit of trivia about this set. If you look at the side of one of the boxes, you can see a sentence under the picture of R2-D2 reading, "Use the branding iron on any droid in Jabba's dungeon." However, this originally read as "the branding iron will torture any droid in Jabba's dungeon." Apparently, they were really worried about using the word torture on a children's toy. The interesting thing is they didn't actually change the box. They just stuck a sticker with the revised wording on it over the old sentence. I guess the change came too late in the production process for them to change the box. Neither version is particularly hard to find. However, the later version does command a little bit heftier price due to the relative scarcity of the figures that came packaged with it. What's also interesting is that many of these boxes have shown up with a price tag from KB toy stores, meaning that Sears probably sold off all their stock to the toy retailer once they were done carrying it. Crazy. So, let's check it out. Here is the 1983 Jabba's Dungeon Action Playset. I don't collect the vintage Kenner action figures, but I do collect the playsets. They're all just incredible. Right off the bat, you can see that I've customized my playset with some of my modern figures. This playset makes for a great display and can look pretty close to the movie scenes if you do it right. Now, this set was never meant to be a Jabba's Dungeon. It was originally made as the Droid Factory, so you do have to use your imagination a little bit. It's more of the spirit of the Jabba dungeon scene. The first word that comes to mind when looking at the gray base for the playset is details. This thing has so many molded in details that are a lot of fun to find and look at. Lots of things that you would expect to see in a futuristic sci-fi dungeon. If you look this thing over, you can see all kinds of pipes, gears, controls, wires, panels, conduits, and even peg holes for your figures. In my playset, I like to set up all these different random droids. I've got a bunch of builder droid parts that I like to just kind of scatter around, make it look like they've all been dismembered and tortured out. I've got different pit droids kind of moving parts around, just kind of make it look like a cool scene. It even looks like it has this awesome molded on smelting pit to toss all those dismembered droid parts. The side of the dungeon has this great little ramp that leads to the top of the playset and also has some stairs on the side. This is the area that you can lead all your droids to EV-989 to determine their fate. Now, this playset did come with a couple stickers for each side of the set. I really love how vintage and old school these stickers look. One side does have a small platform and a peg hole for your figure to stand on. My favorite sticker on this playset has a great image of an old school audio tape deck. Just some classic technology. Now let's take a look at the main action feature of this playset, the dungeon crane arm. The actual crane has 2 points of articulation. The base of the crane that can rotate 360 degrees, and the top portion of the crane does have a swivel joint that can move up and down. The crane comes with 2 separate play features attached to it, one of which is taken straight out of the film. It's a branding iron and an awesome crane hook that you can attach various parts to move things around. In the film, 8D8 pulls a little lever down to seal the gonk droid with a brand. On this set, you get a little attachment that slides onto the crane arm. You can then swivel the crane around to target your next victim to brand. Just move it up and down and put the brand on the droids. You could then rotate to find your next droid to hit. The next attachment is a cool little hook. You can actually move the hook to several little slots built into the main arm. I like to attach my Build-A-Droid parts to this hook and move the parts around the playset, perhaps to the smelting pit. And again, just like the branding iron, you can move this hook left to right, up and down. Just move these droid parts all around the playset. Here's a look at the different little slots that you can move the arm onto. It holds it in place, so whatever kind of distance you're trying to get on whatever you're trying to move, you can move it to the back, to the front, to the middle, and it stays perfectly in place. The front branding iron can also be moved. I did find that this is a little bit harder to do. It's pretty tight over the crane arm, so if you do decide to move it around, just be careful not to break it. The Jabba the Hutt Dungeon Action playset is a fun playset when you use some imagination. Lots of great areas to set up certain scenes from the Return of the Jedi. Go to town showing all those new droid acquisitions some respect.
Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, we would really appreciate a like on our video. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube to stay up to date on everything Bantha Soup. We do reviews, we build customs, we talk about everything Star Wars. And check us out on Facebook at Bantha Soup. Send us a comment, send us a message, send us some pictures, give us a like, let's talk Star Wars. Galaxy, thank you so much for watching. My name is Gil, and this is Bantha Soup.